You're listening to
Split the Defense.
Leafs Postgame Edition.
Split the Defense.
Is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas. Alongside co-host Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans, here's your host, Jordan Webster.
What a game! My good lord! I need to catch my breath after that one. Welcome to Split the Defense, Leafs Postgame Edition. That was fun.
Oh my God.
I had faith. I know I had faith because I live bet the Leafs to win when they went down 2-0. I lost a lot of faith when it became 4-0. At 5-0, I wanted to turn the game off. So the Leafs had a tough night tonight. They didn't come out at all for a while. Got scored on 5-0 to start the game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then immaculately, somehow, some way, they came back. It was first Willie, then Mitch, then McCabe, then Matty, then Matty again.
Clutch.
Yeah.
And tie game with like less than a minute left against the Blue Jackets. Now, when they flashed the stat about the minus in the third period on the Columbus Blue Jackets, a little bit of hope came into me. And I'm watching and I'm thinking, 2 is great in the first minute in the third period there, but like I didn't have a whole lot of faith. I want to see one more, and then they scored one more with McCabe. And I'm like, that's pretty good, but I want to see one more. And when they put one more in, that meme when you're sitting in your chair in the game that Steve Dangle sent me, oh, now what's happening? Now things are interesting. That's exactly how I felt. What a game, CP.
Oh my God. What a game. That's for sure. I maybe the worst 40 minutes of hockey that the Leafs have played in, I can't even tell you how long. And then just a crazy third period. Like my hope was I was going into third period thinking that okay, these guys are sick. They're beaten down from a road trip and they're mailing it in here. And why waste the energy, to be honest? And then when they came out, and I was like, there's some actual, go get it here. And right away, basically, when they scored their first goal, and then they flashed that stat of -26 for the Columbus Blue Jackets in the third period, I looked at Michelle, my girlfriend. I was like, are they going to do this again? I just right from that point, I was just like, I don't know. I've got a funny feeling here. And only ending up pulling out 1 point, losing in overtime. But to be honest, I'm very I'm mixed emotions here because I was gonna cut them a break basically coming in here. If they had mailed it in the third period, I would have said all of what I just said of just you can't blame us a sick group of guys for losing. Every player in the NHL is good. So the difference between the Leafs and Columbus, if one has the flu and one doesn't, that's a difference. But then when they came out, this just they have a little bit of dig deep, and this gives them some belief that they can do this again. I think this is amazing for the room and the morale. But I just I wonder now though, what were they doing for 40 minutes?
Well,
because
why can't they just start first periods like that? Go out there first and score 5 goals. Come on.
Obviously they're not sick enough to not play. So now I don't know how to feel about them because they mailed in 40 minutes for no reason, apparently.
They did play Saturday, then Monday, then Tuesday, had just yesterday off and back again today. And the flu's going through the room. So, I mean, that's what happened. They're gassed. They were done.
But that's why
every game, any Leafs game, just go and do that in the first. If you can do that sick at the end of a game when you're down 5-0, go and score 5 goals in a period. Start a game like that. Be a real team.
See,
I don't
Ted's
know if they
seeing
had it
enough
in
now
them.
that this is a new Leafs fan where he's not like you Webby, where you're weathered to this storm. Ted's just like, no, like this is ridiculous.
Can't do that in the first. My
Yeah,
God. I was
I
gonna text
agree.
you guys and say it's too little, too late. Even when they were at 5-3, I thought, like,
Yeah.
why are you going out and scoring 3 goals to just lose 5-3 probably? And then it was like 5-4, and I was like, okay. And then it's like these guys
If
are
it was
probably losing their minds at home right now.
Yeah, if it was 5-3, I would have been livid because like you guys
Yeah.
waited and you pulled out 3 goals in the third, like that's
Why?
ridiculous. But like I got to cut them some slack because they scored five. Like it's hard to really bash them when they have such an amazing comeback like that. So I hate them for half of it, and I love them that there may be a team that can actually dig deep. And it all on the back basically of Austin Matthews. I know that he wasn't the only one that scored, but when it really came down to it, you could tell that he was going to get it. And I love that about him. Like you can really tell when he kicks it into the next gear.
So like John Tavares contract's up in 2 years, and then Austin Matthews becomes the captain, right?
I don't
Is
know.
that how that works? Like,
I hate
he's
that
the
sometimes.
man.
I hate.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
I hate
No,
that he sometimes doesn't have an A on his sweater. That like him and Mitch share it because like I just can't have that guy not at least having the A.
He's the leader. He is the guy on the team. He's the face of the NHL. He's the face of the American NHL. He's the face of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, they have many faces, but like John Tavares isn't the guy. John Tavares really isn't the guy that you want to listen to when he has an interview. John Tavares, when he has an interview, let's be quite frank, they're very dry and hard to listen to.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on, let's just call it for what it is. Like, as much as I love listening to this game and all the stuff that comes around it, John Tavares is one of the worst people to listen to in the whole entire league. And Austin Matthews isn't. Sometimes he'll get a little snippy, and I like it.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
especially with like Steve Simmons stuff. Like, oh, very much fun. But he's a leader. He came back tonight. He showed he was a leader. But what I really want to get into first is Samsonov.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm not even going to figure out how to say his name right. Samsonov. What a guy. I have no idea what the Leafs are going to do because I get he held it after he let that last one in, but that last one was the fifth one. You can't let 5 goals in like that. After 3, you could see him looking at the bench.
Yeah.
After 4, he was, oh no. And after 5, I think he realized, well, I guess I'm just staying here. Yeah. And it clearly proved to be the right decision. I mean, to get them through the rest of the game. But you have to wonder in the back of your mind, could Martin Jones have made that save in overtime? But coming in cold, and I don't know, like, who do you think plays Saturday?
That's a good question because I did like that they left him in because it was a little bit to me that like he's either gonna learn through this or we're gonna learn that like this is a broken goalie. And so, but now I'm not. He didn't really have to stand on his head, so it was more of the team that he made a few saves. I should give him a little bit of credit, but it was more the team play that carried them through the end. So I think that I'm not so worried about the overtime goal, but the 5 before that, like some of those were just absolutely awful. I forget if it was goal like 2, 3, or 4, but one where like it just goes under his pad. Like his pads aren't down. He's hardly covering his 5-hole. There's so many ways that puck would have gone in, so many holes. So like I just don't trust him. Yeah, Martin Jones would have played better tonight. I can tell you that much. I don't know about the overtime goal, but if he had started the game, it would have been different.
Like you can see it worked. They kept him in and it worked, and they got where they got, and whatever. And I wonder if that's also what the team needed to see. You're not getting a goalie switch tonight. You're not getting a bailout. I don't know. You have to think after a win like this, though, it really brings the group together to think that they can do anything.
Yeah. The one thing about Samsonov I want to add too is that like the team in front of him played awful. So like I don't necessarily expect a goalie to play amazing if the team in front of him is just playing dreadful. So
no, but if it's Joseph Woll, it's 3-0. Right? It's not 5-0.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And it's a much easier comeback. The
I
team looked like shit. Let's be honest. They
Yeah.
looked terrible. They all looked sick. They were all flat-footed. Nobody was skating. They couldn't make a play. They looked like they just met each other in the parking lot before they came in. Just
but I
cracked a
agree.
cold one.
I agree that Joseph Wall it would have been 3-0, but like would have been 3-0 if Martin Jones was in net.
And that's it too. You have to wonder, right?
Yeah,
If
I
they
don't know.
like, I think going forward, like to answer my own question, I think Martin Jones has to start on Saturday. You have to see what you have. You have like a bunch of weeks here ahead. Like you have at least 6 weeks where you're gonna need another goalie. So that's like 3 games a week ish. So like, I mean, you're looking at 18 games. You need to figure out how to win a bunch of these 18 games to stay in a good position. And in my opinion, the Leafs should be, and they probably are, chasing to win the Atlantic Division in the position that they're in. Only 4 points back of Boston right now. And I think they have games in hand. Even if they don't, they're only 4 points back of Boston right now. Anything could happen with a 4-point lead this early in the season. So you need wins. You need a guy who can go in the net, who can start, and who can get you wins. And Samsonov has just proved himself unreliable.
Yeah,
He's just
we're at least
unreliable and untrustworthy.
we're at least at a 50-50 split here. And like I think like if you go to Martin Jones on Saturday, and then you go back to Sammy, and then if Sammy has another bad one, then I don't know where we're at. But like
That's
put
the
him
thing.
on waivers.
You know what sucks? I really wish he didn't get that shutout.
Yeah,
Because when he got that shutout, everything changed, and everybody's like, "Oh, maybe he's still got it." And I'm like, "Oh no!"
yeah, you're so right.
I just wish he would have blew that game. Because if he blew that game, this would have been his last game, and then we would have figured it out now, and we wouldn't be risking even more time losing because our goalie can't stop a puck.
Yeah, I don't wish that he blew that game, but I don't wish that he like maybe just not a shutout because I still want that win.
Yeah, well, you can blow it and the team can score 3 more than they did. That'd be great.
Right,
The
yeah.
Leafs have really turned into the Leafs that everybody said that they were for the last few years, with no defense and all offense, terrible goaltending. Because they've had good goaltending and they've had good defense, and they really had good offense at times the last few years. But they don't have either of the former, and the latter has gotten way better. They are definitely offensive. They can clearly come back. They could be down 5-0 and come back and yeah, with 1 period left. They just need 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
like
What
what do they do from here, CP? Like what are they going to do to make a change? Do you think it went from defenseman to maybe like you need more insurance in goalie? Like how long do we play out Martin Jones with Ilya Samsonov going into the playoffs? I mean, you need a guy behind Joseph Woll for insurance, and like I don't think Samsonov's that guy. What are we going to do with his money? Do you think he can be traded, or what are they going to do with him?
I don't know if he's necessarily if someone's willing to take him. I think that you got to ride it.
Treatment.
Say that again.
The Jack Campbell treatment. Put him down,
Down
the
to
AHL,
the
see
A.
what he does. Let him get scored on 4 weak goals in his first game down there, and see what they think.
Yeah, see, I don't mind that. If someone claimed him, I don't think anyone's going to be too upset. The only thing is, I think at that point, then you're forced into making some sort of insurance move. Because, like, we don't want this to be Martin Jones and going into the playoffs, and he's our number one because Joseph Wall, something happened.
Jesus.
Right? So,
Yeah. No, but like you really have to wonder, and like I'm worried.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Because Joseph Woll, like he's a great goaltender, but this is kind of his career path. He's been hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Different things, but he gets hurt often and deals with stuff. And when he's there, he's great, and that's why he's made it to the NHL at such a young age. But I don't know if you can trust that he's going to be healthy to get you even through the post-stretch run, the postseason stretch run, when you need to get into that area. Because ideally, you don't want to be a second seed. You don't want to play the 3rd seed team. You definitely don't want to be a wild card team. You'd like to be the first place team and let the 2-3 deck it out and play a wild card. Play somebody like I can't even remember who was brought up the other day. Like I think it was Washington. You play somebody like them in the first round. Much easier than having to play Boston or Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a lot nicer to do that? Like, have to play somebody that squeaks in. And I mean, the Metro's the Wild West right now. Anybody could be down, and who knows, right? I think you'd rather play anybody over there right now than Boston.
Yeah.
And like, if you are not getting in that, if you're going to get in that second spot, you're threatening again with Tampa. Do we really want to do that? Like, even like Detroit, like, I wonder how Detroit keeps going, but like, you have to think Tampa's going to make this push again, take that spot in third. So it's a 2-3 matchup. We just don't want that. That's the whole point.
Yeah. I think I'd rather play Boston than Tampa, to be honest. Just their forward group is just so much weaker, and they have been faltering since their hot start. But I like I don't think though that I would want to panic on the goalie situation. Like, I think the move right now is to spend that $4 million that we have available on a defenseman and use all $4 million on one guy who's gonna be immediately slotted on the top spot. Shift everybody down. Sorry, Connor Timmins, you're out of the lineup. Sorry, like Lagesson, you're probably out too when Liljegren comes back. And you look at it at that point.
What about like you know what you were talking about? Something crazy came in the other day with the Zach Werenski thing. What if you got one of those stupid $7 or $8, $9 million defensemen like Werenski and you just traded Brody? You got 4 plus Brody's 4.5, or was he 5.5?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
all of a sudden, I mean, like, then you get Lily back and everybody else has been working out. Like Lagesson's Benoit. I like Benoit. I'm a Benoit truther. He's absolutely good. I like him as a player, and he was just slotted too high and playing on a really shitty team in the Anaheim Ducks, and they're shitty without him. So it had very little to do with him and more to do with the whole organization. He's been good here. He's won his minutes consistently. He bangs, he moves. So like, I love the guy.
Yeah, he's a perfect third liner. Like, he just makes the safe play every time. Like, even if there's something a little bit better out there, like, he just makes the safe. What's not going to get me in trouble here? And he's has a physical presence, and he's not afraid to just get in anybody's face. He's a big lad, and so is Lagesson. He has a little bit more fire than I think people are giving him credit for. He's just not throwing big hits that you get from Benoit. But Benoit, to me, I think if we can find a spot for him, I think I'd like him to be on there. It just gets a little bit dicey when you add a defenseman and then Timothy Liljegren comes back. I hope that he's the one that they go with. To me, they like Connor Timmins too much, and I'm afraid that
Connor Timmins.
He to me is just too much of a wild card. He makes some great plays, I'll give him that. But wow, he just always goes for the most extreme. He's the total opposite of Benoit. You know, not like if there's a safe play, he's looking absolutely everywhere else and trying to make that play first before he makes the safe play.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was explained the other day that some people know how to find the place that the puck would be most dangerous for their team, but the best defensemen are the ones who can find the place that will be the most dangerous for their team, and also assess the risk of how dangerous it would be against their team if they put that puck in that area.
He's missing the second
Timmins
part.
seems to have missing the second part. Yeah, I can't remember what that was on, but that's very, very good assessment of the player. But he's got to play. He's got to play. Like, I think he's probably your three. Like, I think a third pairing of Benoit Timmins could be good if you had enough time, like enough players in the top 4 to shelter him. And I just want to go back to say that I don't want to trade TJ Brody. I was just throwing that out there because he's the only one who really makes money. You're not going to trade Morgan Riley, who makes 7.5, because he's your best defenseman. He's the heart and soul of the team. So then you go, your next defenseman is TJ Brody. He makes like, is it $5.5 million?
I think it's 5.5. Yeah.
And then Jake McCabe only makes 2 because he got retained on. So you keep a Jake McCabe at 2. And then you're going to go over to Timothy Liljegren. He's still on a deal for 1.4, right?
Yep.
So then your bottom pairings, they're all under $1 million.
Nice.
So like, who are you going to move to really get better? And like, who's out there? You're saying spend this whole $4 million on a defenseman to make this stuff not happen. And who's out there that's $4 million is what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, like Nick Kiprio's brought up Mark Savard. Like that's a guy who like is a. I don't love it. Yeah, sorry. Oh my god.
gonna
Yeah,
say.
David Savard. Yeah. Oh my
What
god.
year is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
And like that's
did
a
Mark say something?
you're right.
We got a quote.
That's
from it,
hilarious.
like,
But yeah, like I don't know. That to me, like that's fine, I guess. But I'm not opposed to moving out Brody. Like I think that he'd be much better if we could find a spot for him on the left side. But there's not a lot of those spots, and so I think that why not go and make a splash? And I think Bradshaw Living, like he was not afraid to get rid of TJ Brody off his team. He's done it once before, so
Well, he just didn't re-sign him.
yeah.
He tried to trade.
Well, he
him for
tried to
nothing,
trade him,
Calgary.
yeah. So I think like I'm not opposed to that, but you got to be severely upgrading on Brody if that's what you're doing. And I'm also worried about what you would have to give up to bring in that player. So I don't know. There's a very limited amount of right shot defensemen that are an upgrade on what is currently going on here.
What about one that we saw tonight in Andrew Peak?
Oh yeah, PK, isn't it? Or is it Peak?
I think it's Peak.
Okay.
I think that's how they said it on the broadcast, anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I like him. As
He's
a
good,
player.
yeah.
I saw him tonight, and he's a big body.
Yeah.
I wonder if he. But the thing is, it's like we're looking at like, yeah, but he could be good in the future still. But with that, we need somebody who's good right now.
Yeah.
Like we need somebody who's dope now. And Tanev's hurt. That sucks. We're probably not going to be able to trade with the Calgary Flames anyways.
No.
So it's not looking likely that we get a deal done with somebody like that. So I mean, like, who is out there for $4 million to trade? And I just don't see it. I just simply don't see it.
I think that potentially, I mean, like, Dumba would be one that, has been floated around before. And without cap retention, because he makes more than he deserves, I think, at 3.9 maybe. But we have room for him now. So it's not going to cost a ton to bring him in, I don't think. But also, I think that
Is he a needle mover?
Yeah, I was going to say, but I also think that we've been looking at a lot of defensemen that are rentals, right? And there's a whole new pool if you open it up to guys that have 1 or 2 more years on their deal. And because now we have the $4 million from Klingberg, you don't necessarily need retention like we did before, which was just making the cost so astronomical.
No, but still, if the guys have a couple of years left and they're good, then chances are it's going to be a lot of prospects, picks. It's going to be a lot of capital to pick up these guys. So it's going to be really hard to get somebody with a few years. That's I don't know. We'll have to see what comes and go through some more names. And honestly, I'm not sure what they're going to do. But right now, I think the main thing is goaltending, and we'll see if Martin Jones starts again. Something crazy is that the Leafs play the Columbus Blue Jackets 3 times in the next 7 games. So we're gonna see the Blue Jackets again. I bet you it's a low-scoring affair next time, just because this one was nuts. I think they're probably going to try and tighten up. And I have to wonder how much you tighten up on just Team D. Ryan Reeves got hurt tonight. Now, does that really... I like Ryan Reeves as a person, and I feel bad for him, and I'm sorry he got hurt. But, like, that does not hurt this hockey team. That helps this hockey team. That helps them make a decision that they should have made a long time ago, that he should not be playing, and they should get somebody more effective in for him at all times. And he's great. They should have hired him as a coach or something. But like,
or
I just
DJ.
don't see it. I just don't see it. Like, he's great. And he was amazing. Like, when they signed Ryan Reeves, I was like, if we're getting the Ryan Reeves that I think we're gonna get, oh boy. But that's not the guy. We got like Wish version Ryan Reeves, and it's not working out.
Yeah, he's a shadow of what he used to be, I think, and it's unfortunate that now like he's on the squad for a while, but I don't think I don't want to say that it's a positive that he's not in the lineup, because he's been playing better recently. He logged his most time last game. I actually said to Michelle, like, Ryan Reeves was playing 11 minutes tonight. That was my
setting the bar so low.
Yeah, but like
the bar is so low for like, oh, Reeves actually looked like an NHL player tonight. Can we get somebody good in that spot?
It's
like,
a
get
fourth
somebody
line,
who
though.
earns it. Oh my God, but that's the thing, push. If you're pushing and pushing, then you can play those guys more. Then everybody else is trusted more, and everybody else can get a switch.
9 minutes from your fourth line is good. That's quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what he's been playing.
But I just don't think it can be consistent, and it hasn't been good for the big chunk of the season. Even though we've had a couple of good games, the games when Ryan Reeves isn't in, I feel like the team's a lot better.
Yeah, I don't think it's a negative. That's for sure that he's not in the lineup.
No, that's fair enough. Nye's not being in the lineup for the last 2 games though. That he's out with the flu. I think they do expect him back for Saturday. They said he's feeling better, but just not quite there yet. So
he's not very nice.
Yeah.
No,
he did media
horrible.
scrum today, and he looked good. I just feel like he just didn't quite have the energy.
Yeah. They play the Penguins Saturday, though. So Dubas comes to town for the first time.
Nice.
So I wonder how much the Leafs are going to be able to be consistent. I wonder how much they're going to be able to push through this and the sickness and all the games this week. Because, again, like we said, it's Saturday, then it's Monday, then it's Tuesday, then it's Thursday, then it's Saturday. And that's a busy week, right? That's 5 games in 7 days. So
thankfully, Pittsburgh has looked like garbage recently. So they're not the team that, I was hoping for them, to be honest. Even though there's the Kyle Dubas story, I don't really care about that. It's the Sidney Crosby story to me, and so I was really hoping that they could put on one more season. It just doesn't seem like that's in the cards. So just to talk about Sidney Crosby for a second, but that's a guy who just is so talented still. And with the right guys around him, he could go to a cup, no question. Like, I would not bet against him if he had the right cast around him. But it just doesn't seem like everyone's kind of lost a step, right? And actually, they've got some, like, Jake Gensel has actually been really good this year. So they do have some guys performing, him and Sidney Crosby, but that's about it. So it'll be interesting to see if they put on a different performance against the Leafs Saturday, because that's typically what happens. And potentially now that Crosby's auditioning to be a Leaf. So, he's going to want to put on a show.
That's not happening, but that would be
that's
amazing.
Not happening.
No, but Connor McDavid will come here one day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. We agree on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they won last time. It was only 3-2, but they beat the Leafs last time. They still have it. They are a positive goal differential team that's not in a playoff spot, which is very rare.
That's so weird.
So, to me, I haven't watched, and I can go back and go through their games, but you have to wonder if they've lost a lot of close games, right? If they're maybe just a piece away. So, a couple more wins, and we're talking different about the Penguins. And when they play the Leafs on Saturday, that's where it all could start. How many teams have went on a winning streak after playing the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yeah.
So,
do
you have anything else you want to talk about the game against the Jackets here?
No, I don't think so. No.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up right there. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Split the Defense Hockey Podcast. Leafs post-game edition. We are out. We will be back Saturday after the Penguins game. Peace.
Peace.
You've been listening to
Split the Defense.
Leafs Post-Game Edition. Hosted by Jordan Webster, Craig Pearce, and producer Ted Evans.
Split the Defense.
Is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas.